Welcome to C-Fan Sports. This is the Draft Recap 2022 edition. And oh my goodness, Kevin, we had some winners. I'm excited about what we got.
Well, I'm going to pop up on the screen what we got, and why I'm at it real quick. We're actually trying a new streaming service, and that's why you can see this duck in this corner up here. But here we go. Here's what we got in the draft.
There we go. So, yeah, we got Charles Cross with the number 9 pick. We got Boye Mafe with the number 40 pick, number 41. Kenneth Walker the third, which I
Mhm.
heard he doesn't want to be called Kenneth. He wants to be called Ken. Abraham Lucas, number 72. Out of 109, Coby Bryant. Coby with a C, not a K. And then, of course, we have Tariq Woolen, number 153. 158, Tariq Smith out
Yep.
of the Ohio State University. Then number 229, wide receiver Beau Melton out of Rutgers. And then the guy that they called the DK of D2, Dareke Young out of Lenore Rhine. Pick number 233.
Yep.
Kevin, a haul that I am pretty excited about.
Well, let's start off and let's talk about it. We kind of picked what'd we say? 3.5, 4.
I'm going to count it as 4, Kevin. To be honest with you, I don't care.
So I got it. Hats off to Dave. He picked Charles Cross. I hate saying it, but Dave was correct. He picked the guy as one of his players to draft. Now, I'm excited about it. It wasn't one of my two offensive guards or tackles that I would have liked to have, but we knew they weren't going to be there when we picked. So, hey, to get Charles Cross at number 9, absolutely. I love the fact. So, here's some information on Charles. He's just a stud. So, Dave, what about Charles? Why do you like this
It's-
guy?
you know what? To be honest with you, Kevin, it wasn't so much a like as the fact that I thought at number 9 this was the guy that was going to fall to us, and that's exactly what happened. He fell to us at number 9, thanks to Houston taking Derek Stingley Jr.,
Mhm.
and he was there. He came out of an air raid offense. Mike Leach. You're going to hear that again today here on our breakdown show.
Love me
But
some Mike
6 foot.
Leach.
What's that?
I said I love me some Mike Leach, man.
I
He's
bet you do.
he's my fave interview process. I just never mind. Let's get going.
6'5", 307-pound, Mississippi State, 2000. He had. He is not as big as say Evan Neal, not as big as Iggy, but I tell you, Kevin, everything I've listened to, they consider him
Mhm.
to be one of those top 3, and it's 1, 2, 3: Iggy, Evan Neal, Charles Cross. And to be honest with you, if you go back and you look at his measurables compared to somebody named Walter Jones when he first got drafted out of
Yeah.
college, very similar.
Well,
So, all I
and
can say, go ahead, Kevin.
no, I was just going to say, yeah, I agree. And in fact, I was listening to, Seattle sports on Monday, and they're talking about it. And the one thing that they like about this guy, and in fact, we'll talk about it in the third round pick as well, is
Mhm.
the fact that they're built for our new offensive coordinator. They're built for that new scheme. These are the guys that they wanted. I mean, absolutely wanted.
Right.
And boy, I couldn't be more happier with Charles Cross. When we called the pick, we were like, yeah, but the more I read into it, the more I hear about him, the more I like him. So I'm ready, man.
I agree. I'm excited to see what again, when I talked about the draft, I talked about us completely revamping our offensive line. And not only did I say that we are going to completely revamp it, I actually said we're going to completely revamp it with the 2 players that we got. If you don't believe me, it's on record. Just
It
go back on the YouTubes. I called it.
it is.
Anyway, not going to pat myself too much on the back because I'll break my arm. But
You did call 2 players, yes.
absolutely. All right, Kevin. So the next thing that we got there was an edge player out of Minnesota.
And I think I pronounced his name right. It's Boye Mafi,
Uh-huh.
And boy, he just looked good. 6'4", 261 pounds. He's 23 years old. Everything I've been reading about this kid, he is absolutely Daryl Taylor on the other side, but possibly even a better person with better techniques than Daryl had. Daryl
Mm,
was kind of a project, they said, but with athletic ability, they really love this. This guy is a 3-4 outside linebacker,
mm.
edge rusher slash, So I'm telling you that they hit a home run. They love this kid. And they were more excited about this guy than they really talked about. There was a couple of guys they talked about. This guy, they talked about a ton. Pete and John, sorry.
Yeah, Pete and John. And here's the thing, Kevin. We all knew that we needed more pass rush. Okay,
Mhm.
and this kid out of Minnesota is bringing speed. He's bringing a presence on the other side of Daryl Taylor.
Yeah.
He's going to complete that 3-4, and I'm pretty excited that that is going to be happening. I mean, we we were expecting more of a Jermaine Johnson the second,
Yeah.
but and to be honest with you, man, he fell hard in the draft, and I was kind of surprised that he fell that hard.
He
But
did he did fall hard, but the thing that I mean, they actually let Rasheem Green go. So I
oh, did
then
they? Oh, did they? I did not know that.
I
So
think
you're
he
telling me
signed
something
with New Orleans. You know,
real,
the thing that they're talking about that he really didn't fit the new system.
right?
He wasn't the edge rusher that they're looking for now. He wasn't the 3-4 guy, a hybrid 3-4 guy. So, yeah, I was shocked and absolutely. Are they going to bring back, Dunlap? I don't know. Is
I
it?
again, I don't think so because again, he is more of a Leo in that
Hmm.
4-3 defense where
Yep.
again, LJ Collier did not get his 5th-year option. That I did know. So
Yep.
you're seeing us go away from the athletic end, and we're going to more of that outside linebacker, that's able to rush from either the 2 point or the 3 point. So, again, I think that I'm interested to see they're setting up a new defense, and to see Pete kind of, go a little bit away from his roots shows that he's willing to take and move in some different directions.
Right.
Speak,
Well, and I'm going to talk about this next guy because I I talked about him
you did. You
on a
didn't think he
podcast.
was going to fall to us,
I
Kevin.
did not in a million years did I think he was going to fall to us, but he did. Let's talk about Ken Walker the third. Now, I don't know if you listened to, Sock on Monday morning talking with Brock,
Oh, yes, I did.
but boy, was Brock excited about this kid. This
Mhm.
guy was the most complete back. Now, they weren't too thrilled at taking a running back in the second round, but if you are going to take one because one fell to you, this is the kid you want.
Mhm.
And boy, I could not be more excited. I preached all last year. The only thing I was upset about with the draft is we didn't pick up another center, but it was center and running back. And even
Yeah.
before center, it was all about the running back. I didn't trust Chris Carson. I didn't trust Rashad Penny. I didn't trust the other guys. This guy, I trust. I believe in this guy. They went
Mhm.
from a 2-win team to a 10-win team, and this guy carried them on their back.
Kevin, I could not agree anymore. Kenneth Walker or Ken Walker, the third,
Hmm.
he is going to be a player that if Rashad Penny does not come in and do what he did in the end of last season, Ken Walker will be touting the rock for the Seattle Seahawks next year.
Well,
And
I think he's going to tote the rock, and Rashad's going to be his backup. That's the way I see it.
I'm not so sure that I think they're going to give him every opportunity, and him by the person I mean him, I mean Rashad Penny. I think they're going to give him every opportunity to have that job because you know what? If he can continue to show what he could do, like he did at the end of last season, especially with a better offensive line in front of him,
Mhm.
We may have 2 stud running backs, and
I
I'm pretty that is if we're going to win in 2022,
Yep.
it's going to be running the ball. Yes, both of the tackles that we got were both pass-oriented tackles, but I think that you're going to see a lot of plays, swing plays, screens, a lot of stuff, jet sweeps, all of the stuff that the 2 linemen that they got are linemen that will get out and run. They
Yeah.
are both pullers. They're both going to be able to kick out and take on blockers on the edges, and that's going to create the lanes for both Ken Walker, Rashad Penny, Dwayne Eskridge. Anytime we
Mhm.
do the jet sweeps. Sorry, Kevin, I didn't mean to step on your thunder there.
No, no, I was just gonna say that, with this guy though, there isn't a lot of learning as far as a running back goes. You
Hmm.
either have it or you don't, and this kid has it. And
Right.
so there's not gonna be a lot of uphill battle trying to figure out if he can run or when you're gonna put him in. They're gonna put him in from day one. And the other thing about this guy is he got great hands out of the backfield. And no, they didn't talk about that much in the draft, but this kid can catch the ball. So just another weapon in the run game and the pass game, in my opinion. You got an amazing tight end with Noah Fant. Then you got DK and um,
Tyler.
Tyler. Thank you.
Yeah, no
And,
problem.
and you add, this guy in the mix. Wow. Okay, well, I'm gonna let you take over because this was your pick. Now, we did get him a half a round later, but he
Mhm.
was your pick. Here you go.
Here's the thing. This Abraham Lucas. I figured that Seattle at that 41 spot was going to trade back, and they were going to have be able to get this kid out of Washington State University.
Yep.
Um, I've heard nothing but absolute glowing things about him. Not only is his character impeccable, his work ethic, the way he goes after things. If you want to go ahead and find out a little bit more about Abraham Lincoln, Abraham Lucas, then make sure that you go in and pull up some YouTube videos and watch the vignette that they did about Lucas. He is a special type of player. He has only been at right tackle. So they went
Mhm.
in and they found themselves a left tackle specialist and a right tackle specialist.
Yep.
I talked about this pre-draft. I said this is what Seattle needs to do in order to go ahead and move forward with this new offense.
Mhm.
And now they have built this offense through the draft. And now you have Charles Cross, you have Gabe Jackson, you have Blythe the center, you have um Daryl. Oh
Damon
wow,
Damian Lewis.
Damian Lewis, sorry,
Oh,
and Abraham Lucas. And then you throw Will Disley on the end.
you know
Oh
it.
my goodness, Kevin. This is going to be a offensive line. And you know what, Kevin, the reason that we have the opportunity, people are going to say, well, if we would have put this line in front of Russell Wilson, I'm telling you, you watch in a couple weeks, we're coming up with a video. We're going to talk about all the resources that we spent on the offensive line. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, what we were having to do is we were having to, not, we were having to cut and paste in order to, with his salary, with his demands and things that he wanted to see. Yeah, no, that was not what we could do in order to appease Mr. Russell Wilson. And you know what? He's in a place where he feels he's better, and we're in a place that I think we're better.
Yeah, in that same time frame that Brock and Sock were on together. Brock said he actually met this guy in high school and could not believe his size and strength. He said this guy is violent when he hits
Mhm.
somebody. So man, I couldn't be more excited to have this guy on our team. So what a absolute steal in the third round.
Absolutely, because he was supposed to go in that second round area, Kevin, and the
Yeah.
fact that he slid that far down, oh my
Well, we're
goodness.
gonna get to the next two guys too that actually slid down. There was everybody I saw and read these next two guys.
Mhm.
they were pretty much called for third round picks. They were not
Mhm.
supposed to slide into the fourth round. And Dave, I want to talk about the next guy after this one, so I'm going to let
Okay.
you run with
So
this guy.
you're gonna let me have the Doak Walker Award winner right here, Mr. Coby Bryant with a C.
Yep.
Kevin, this guy lined up on the other side of Ahmad Gardner, and all he did is take home the award for best cornerback in college
Mhm.
football.
Yep.
Sauce Gardner may have got the third overall pick or excuse me, fourth overall pick. However, Coby Bryant was on the other side and he was just so impressive with his coverage that he won the award for the best cornerback in all of college football. Not Derek Stingley Jr.,
Nope.
not some of the guys, all the guys that were drafted ahead of him. This kid has a work ethic. He is going to come in and he is absolutely going to impress day one.
And I see a chip on the shoulder with this guy for being
Yep,
drafted in the fourth round. I mean, he
yep.
is better than half these guys that were ahead of him. I mean, it's crazy to even think that he wouldn't be. But wow, what a pick. And unbelievable. You can't say much more. This
All right,
next
so Kevin, let me set this up for you,
all
and
right,
then
all right.
I'm gonna come in. You called this. You pulled out a guy I had never even heard of, and I was doing the draft. Had my book. I was doing
Mhm.
draft research, and I'd never even heard this kid. Kevin, you called it. You and another guy named Michael Bumpus were both all over
Yeah.
Tariq Woolen. So tell me all about him, Kev.
Well, let's talk about this guy. He is a freak, and you know how much I like freak athletes. I mean, that is what we talked about. We talked about the guy from Georgia, that Davis, that was
Yep.
drafted in the first round. These guys are freaks. He's 6'4", 205 pounds. What was it? A 4.26 40 at the
Third
combine
fastest in all of the combine this
in
year.
at 6'4".
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking I went through a ton of tape trying to figure out who I wanted in the third round. This guy is an absolute steal in the fifth round. Absolute steal. And, he is a converted receiver who
Mhm.
started college as a receiver. He
Mhm.
reminds me so much of Richard. And you can watch the video. I won't go into any further, but boy, was this guy. I was, when we did our live broadcast. I can't even talk. I was so excited. I was
Oh,
jumping up and
we
down.
were both of us.
It was I love this kid. I can't wait to watch this guy play. So,
And here's the thing, Kevin. You put him with Trey Brown,
oh yeah, and
and,
Kobe
and you put
Bryant.
him with Kobe Bryant. This is a very young secondary. And
Mhm.
let's say, because Quandre Diggs isn't getting any younger, but do have Ryan Neal, and Ryan Neal has looked good, and I've been
Yeah.
pretty impressed with him. So our secondary now is shaping up to be something to watch in the next few years. I am pretty excited to see where the Seahawks go. I don't want to hear Legion of Boom 2.0. I want
No.
them to go ahead and forge their own way. Yeah, but yeah, I am very excited to see where this draft class goes, along with last year's draft class. You
Mhm.
know,
I do want to say one thing. I was watching an interview with Pete, and he said one of the most things he's most excited about Tariq Woolen is his physical size. He
hmm
reminds him a little bit of Richard and Brandon Browner, being
yeah.
physical at the line of scrimmage that can knock people off their routes.
Oh, I
And
tell you, I watched a couple of them. Yeah.
oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited about this guy. So I'm going to turn it back to you,
Mhm.
and here you go.
The next guy is a different type of outside linebacker, Tariq Smith. He is more of a prototypical pass rusher,
Hmm.
where the other gentleman that we got, Boye Mafe, is more of a prototypical outside linebacker. They're both going to be able to spend time playing that outside linebacker spot. And I think, unfortunately, the more pass rushers you have, the better. And
Yeah.
so this kid here is said a couple of times. I've heard a couple of interviews where he says, "You're going to get everything I've got, Seattle. I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you. He was injured at Ohio State. He did not make the strides that he, you know, should have made there. However, he was a starter all 4
Mhm.
years. Nobody was good enough on that Ohio State
Nope.
team to beat him out.
No. Yeah, I mean, look at the guy, 6'3", 254,
Absolutely.
and he's only 22 years old as a senior in college. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Mhm.
And he for a 5th round, I mean, I don't know what his grade was, what grade they had him in, but boy, unbelievable. I'm excited. I cannot believe how well the Seahawks did in this draft. They not only did they draft extremely well, they drafted for needs extremely
Absolutely.
well.
And not only that, but they got guys that they didn't reach for that fell to them. I think
Yep.
that's the difference in this draft. You're going to find that most of these guys fell to them and they did not reach. And to be honest with you, Kevin, that I think is way more important than coming out of this draft with a quarterback that you know what? They did not have any business drafting a quarterback in this draft because none of the quarterbacks were going to have that impact. And if you don't believe me, then if that wouldn't have been the case, those guys would have been drafted in the first and second round. The
Oh,
fact
yeah.
that these all the quarterbacks fell, oh, we didn't want any business with them. Next year, there's supposed to be five that is supposed to go in the first round. We will be able to. We have the resources to go up and get one of those or excuse me, top quarterbacks. Right now, we have built in the trenches. We've got Tariq Smith, we have Alton Robinson, we have Daryl Taylor, and we
Mhm.
have Boye Mafe. We have fortified our edge rushing positions, and then with Jordan Brooks and Cody Barton in the middle,
And
locking down those
BBK
four
is gonna be back too, so
BBK, I think we're going to need him. I think we're going to rotate more.
mhm.
Unfortunately, we've kind of been, Bobby has held that one side down, or excuse me, the middle, and KJ has held down the other side.
Yep.
Not so much this time.
No.
So, yeah. All right, Kevin, let's go ahead and do you have any thoughts on Tariq, Kevin?
No, I've already said I think he's a great fit. I'm really excited about him. I can't talk about how great this draft was. I'm just that excited. And you know what? They got their big guys first. And that's what I really liked about this draft. And in the 7th round, they went and picked up the small guys and the fast
I don't,
guys.
I don't think, I'm not necessarily thinking that 5'11", 189.
He's not big, not 6'2", not 6'3".
But you know whose measurables he does have?
Tyler Lockett.
Mm. They're comparing this Beau Melton kid right here
Mhm.
to Doug Baldwin.
Really? I didn't see that.
Yes. That's the comp that I've heard. And here's the thing. He was at Rutgers. He did not have a great quarterback throwing to him.
No.
They think that this kid is going to be something special. This is a hidden gem that they picked up in the 7th round. He again somebody that fell to them,
Yep.
excuse me. I saw A+ grades every time I saw a grade on the Beau Melton pick.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, he's 5'11", 189 pounds,
mhm,
senior. He's 22.9, so almost 23 years old.
mhm.
Yeah, here's my take on receivers. If you can get solid receivers in the 7th round, I mean, we got Doug Baldwin as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah,
I mean, we picked up some really good receivers at lower
late.
end late,
Yep.
and I just think this is another one. I mean, uh, who was the other ninth? Was Swain the other ninth round or 7th round pick we
S
got on the
And
team?
not only him, but David Moore was another late round pick.
David
So, I
Moore,
mean, we've picked up some solid receivers in that 7th, guys that are gonna fill out our receiver room.
right?
Unfortunately, we're going to need guys like Beau Melton and the gentleman we're going to talk about next in order to fill out that quarterback room. If we're going to pay DK what we're going to pay DK, we're going to have to get production from players like Beau and Dareke Young, which I think that is definitely something that we'll be able to do coming up.
Well, this guy is kind of from a really small school and not a ton of information on him. I mean, we've been trying to track him down, and we really can't find too much on him. But
Well, he's
this
6'3", 220.
Yep.
His nickname in college is the DK of the D2.
Yep.
So, yeah, Tariq
Well,
Young, 6'3", 220. That's a pretty good sized boy, and he's got some speed.
yeah, and they're really excited about this guy, and
Mhm.
they do think that he has a really legitimate shot at making this team.
If not, he'll be on the practice squad.
Yep.
And here's the thing, Kevin, they made sure that they got an extra seventh round pick so they could get this kid. That
Yep.
was their plan.
Yeah.
They were one of the only teams to scout him, and they wanted him.
And what school did he come out of?
Lenore Young. No,
Len
Lenore Ryan, not Lenore Young. His
Right.
last name is Young. So, yeah.
Lenore Ryan. Yeah. I can't say anymore. I'm speechless. So,
Yeah. Here's the deal, Kevin. If I was grading this draft, I would grade it an A minus. And the only reason that I would not give it an A plus is because that we did not pick up a center. That
mm,
kid West out of Arizona State,
yep.
he was there all the way to the end. I think we could have still traded up back up into the seventh round and picked him up. And I think that is our only mistake is that we got out of this draft without a center.
Well, and I think they must really like Austin Blythe and hope to sign him for a long-term contract or extend him. So that's the only thing I'm thinking. But
Well, Kevin, I think the only thing we have to do now is just make sure that you guys, if you made it all the way to the end, that you're giving us thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you guys feel that you need to do. Make sure that you're subscribing. Make sure you turn those notification bells. And as always, leave comments in the comment section below. And the only thing I have left to say, Kevin, is Auf Wiedersehen because we're going to Germany, baby.
oh yeah, playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right, man. Peace out. I'll see you next week. We ain't saying that silly phrase no more.
Nope, I am. Go Hawks.
All right, man. Deuces.